This is just a quick video on the Apeman A80 action camera. I just got this from Amazon. This is actually an older camera, but I got it because Apeman Tech Support advised me when I was looking for a camera with clean HDMI out that the A80 had clean HDMI out because it has an OSD setting that you can toggle the screen information on and off with. So I got this and fired it up. And I'll show you some settings first of all. You turn it on with the orange button on the front. You can tell this is a second gen because the button is a big square orange button. The first gen, the button was narrow. I think this is from 2018. So we hit the orange button until we get into the settings mode. You cycle through the setups with the buttons on the side, and we'll go down to OSD. Hit the top button for OK. The OSD is off. Now I'll show you what the OSD being disabled looks like on the HDMI output. You will find that despite Apeman's claim, this is not clean HDMI out. You'll see why in a moment. I got the camera fired up. It's in normal video mode. OSD is off. I will plug in a micro HDMI cable into the micro HDMI port, and it turns the display off on the camera, and the TV HDMI signal is running. And fantastic. Clean HDMI out. Nothing on the screen. So we're good to go, right? Well, if you're running this camera for clean HDMI out, you're probably not going to be running it on battery because you're going to be running it for longer periods of time. So that means you're going to plug in a micro USB cable for power. So we'll plug that in. And, well, you'll note that the clean HDMI is no longer clean HDMI because we now have a flashing battery charging indicator. So that's no good. I unplugged the micro USB cable and the camera rebooted. I noticed that a lot of the cheaper action cameras have flakiness when plugging and unplugging USB cables into them. So we'll turn it back on again. And here's the second problem. For some reason, the battery indicator shows up now and again as well. What I noticed is that I can get the battery indicator to go away by entering the menu settings and just exiting the settings again. And you'll note that the battery indicator is gone. So there's a fix for that particular issue if you're running on battery. So we're back to clean HDMI out. The problem is if you do run it on battery, the instant the battery status changes, in other words, if you run this on battery for 20 minutes or an hour or however long it takes to drop the battery 1 bar, that indicator is going to show up again. So not so much clean HDMI. There's nothing you can do about either of those things. So clean HDMI out, kind of under certain circumstances, but nothing that's consistent enough to be able to use for a clean HDMI video source. Also note that there's no audio transmitted over the HDMI cable. So as a epilogue, I just wanted to show the firmware version for this camera. It's 3.1.0.1-A.